And Brian, you pointed out the New York Times article yesterday that said essentially American officials say that the Israelis don't have a ground plan that will work right now. But then you've got the Israelis saying we are well prepared. According to the Times of Israel this morning, Israeli officials apparently have not yet decided whether or not to launch a major ground offensive like the U.S. did in Fallujah back in 2004, or carry out surgical strikes and targeted raids by special forces as the U.S. did in Mosul back in 2017. Because, you know, we all remember Fallujah. That was an urban situation that lasted a very long time. And the Secretary of Defense yesterday was talking about how urban warfare is really hard and expect a lot of casualties.
Remember, they cordoned off the whole town, gave everybody IDs to try to find out who the terrorists were. And before to get in, it was almost like going into a concert. Every day, if you're going to leave the town, we're going to check you in. So they did biometric testing. They cordoned off the town. That's what's so amazing about what we did. They got the same thing, only tunnels, Lawrence.
So one part is the strategy of Israel, but part of the reason why there is some hesitation right here, Brian, is that the White House, as well as the State Department, they're divided on where they stand on this. The Huffington Post has an exclusive that they released yesterday. They said there's basically a mutiny brewing within the State Department at all levels. The State Department officials are prepared to release a dissent cable. This is where people within the State Department criticize their own administration.
I mean, one person quit already.
And now they're putting pressure on the Biden administration to shift Ainsley.
Well, they're saying one thing, and the Biden administration is saying another. Just a few hours before President Biden talked about the ceasefire, and we'll play that in just a second, the State Department came out and said they're against a ceasefire. They said that it would just give Hamas the ability to rest, to refit, and get ready to continue launching terrorist attacks against Israel.
True.
You cannot, don't forget, just 2 weeks ago, a little more than 2 weeks ago, Hamas came in, these terrorists came into another country and vilified families while they were sleeping. The horrific stories, you cannot forget that. No. So when you see these protesters calling for a ceasefire, that really upsets the Israelis because they lost family members, gouged eyes out, babies cut out of moms' stomachs. It is so horrific what they did, and they will do it again if they get away with it this time. And so President Biden was asked if he supports a ceasefire. He said, yes, but with conditions. Listen.
Are you guys supporting the hostages for a ceasefire deal?
Why did you? We should have a ceasefire. It's not a ceasefire. We should have those hostages released, and then we can talk.
Does he understand that he's president of the United States?
It's crazy.
That these cast aside, these statements, walking away, the backs to the press, never answers a question directly, shouts it while he's walking up the steps. This is somebody that has 50 years experience. Now he's finally president of the United States. He knows his words matter. Are you for a ceasefire? Are we waiting for hostages? Are we not waiting for hostages? How many hostages do we have? Oh, by the way, I'm going to make a huge statement while walking away off mic. Stand there, answer the question, or don't.
Brian, the part of the reason why this is happening is because of hesitation, because he's trying to appease one part of his party and then appease the Israelis as well. There's really no leadership.
I think you're giving him too much credit. I don't even think he's thinking it through.
You don't think he's thinking?
I don't even think he's thinking. Imagine if I say something now that changes the policy on a global conflict. Instead, I don't know, I'll just turn around and arbitrarily shout a statement and let my team
But Brian, it's
up.
Not just even him. KJP was asked, what is the position of the administration on anti-Semitism? And then she went into Islamophobia. It's the entire administration, not just the president of the United States.
Do they ever have a meeting?
Yeah.
She also said that, you know, in this country, we respect people's rights to protest and stuff like that.
She didn't want to talk about what's happening on college campuses.
See, I think what Joe Biden did was he screwed up the message because obviously the U.S. government has a policy, and it's no ceasefire. But he said we should have a ceasefire. No, not a ceasefire. He just blew it. That's the problem. And unfortunately, the whole world looking at him, and he screwed up his own message.
Didn't he say, I didn't hear the question correctly?
That was about something a couple of days ago.
That's him walking up the steps. He came out and said no or yes, and then they said, no, he didn't know what he was talking about because he didn't hear the question. Because you're always walking away from the press. Either take the question staring at us or walk away. But it's very insulting to think that little of the press, that you don't even answer the question. Now, understand, the press, whether you think of them or not, are the voice and questions of the people, and you continue to make policy while walking away and then having people come back and say you misunderstood the question.
I want to know, how did the squad get elected? AOC saying war crimes don't justify war crimes. You know, Israel's abducting people. Aren't they supposed to defend themselves? If someone comes into your house and kills your family, aren't you going to defend yourself? Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib triples down on that Hamas hospital narrative, saying that Israel and the U.S. have misled the public.
Just to be clear,
and she says there should be an investigation.
Our Defense Department they've investigated this, and we have a U.S. position on this issue, and she's still parroting Hamas, not Palestine's talking point, Hamas's talking point.
And the UK also did their own investigation.
Correct.
And the New York Times apologized.
New York Times admitted, quote, we relied too heavily on claims by Hamas about the hospital.
All of our allies, our Defense Department is wrong, and Hamas is right.
And
Did you hear the AP? If you're a reporter for the AP, you're not allowed to call Hamas a terror group?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Because they say it's part of the government. So what are you going to do? Anyway, that's where we stand at 6:16 on this Tuesday morning.